Well, welcome in to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital. It is the matchups and week show for week number 8 with Landon and Austin, of course. And listen, the past couple of podcasts, we have started this show with some bad news. If you're a Mississippi State fan, we have started with some decommitments when it comes to recruiting, just bad stuff. This week, we actually have some positive news to talk about when it comes to recruiting and Mississippi State. So we will get to that. Also, it is the matchups and pick show. So for those who watched last week, if you did not watch, man, we could have helped you out a little bit. At the end of each week matchups and pick show, we have our against the odds segment where Austin and I both pick a money line underdog to win outright, and both of ours won last week. The week before that, Austin's pick was like a plus 460 or something in that one as well. So you might want to tune in and wait until the end. Austin, man, are you ready to go for week number 8?
I am, man. I'm very excited. We got two massive games. I mean, I can't stress to this is awesome. It's going to be a great Saturday. I mean, it's been very anticipated these past 2 or 3 weeks for this Saturday, and I'm very excited. We got two massive games, and then Mississippi State has a great Saturday to prove itself that it's a legit. I mean, they're a legit team. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. And this is a massive Saturday.
Yeah, they have an opportunity. If you hadn't seen it already, we had our Texas A&M preview show. Go ahead and look that back up on MPW Digital, where we just kind of look at the full scope of what A&M's been so far, what Mississippi State's been so far, and then kind of our thoughts thus far. The line has actually changed, has gone up for A&M. I think it's A&M minus 17. I think they think they're going to win by 17 over Mississippi State. Interesting. So we will take a look at that. But before we get there, we have some good news to talk about for Mississippi State. First, we'll start with football. And the On3 recruiting rankings came out today, and there was a lot of, just recruiting rankings went up in terms of updating kind of the player list. And I understand numbers and where people are might not ever be exact, but Mississippi State quarterback commit Kamario Taylor, who is a guy that State's had committed for a while in the 2025 class, got a huge pump in rating. He is now moved all the way up to the number 9 overall quarterback in the 2025 class. He has made it all the way to up to the 122nd player overall. Kamario Taylor, if this holds, if he does end up committing to Mississippi State, would be the highest ranked quarterback to ever sign with Mississippi State. Quick fun fact for you, Austin, or you tell me, who is the highest overall quarterback at a high school Mississippi State has signed?
I think it's Sawyer Robertson, right? Sawyer Robertson.
It is. That did not work out for Mississippi State,
Yeah,
but
that's tragic.
exactly that was Sawyer Robertson, and then also Tyshawn Willis got a huge bump as well. He's an edge defender that is also committed to Mississippi State, and he has bumped all the way up to the 78th overall player. Man, what a huge jump for Tyshawn Willis. And really for Mississippi State in general to have some guys that are already, and that is on 24/7 Sports. He's bumped all the way up to 78th overall. You can find that on 24/7 Sports. But huge for Mississippi State to have guys. I mean, look, these guys were committed before these rankings went up anyway. But there's some positive things because I know Mississippi State fans can sometimes get down their luck and go, well, after he was committed to Mississippi State, then they bumped him, down in ranking. Must be something wrong with Mississippi State. But there's some positive news to that, and that's the first part. Austin, I'm going to wait to also tell this basketball news. And I want to get your thoughts. The number 1 player in Mississippi, 4-star 6'9" forward, Jamarion Davis Fleming, the brother of Javion Davis, former Bulldog, committed to Mississippi State. Davis Fleming is the number 1 player in the state of Mississippi and the number 90 overall prospect. MSU recruiting with that commitment is the number 3 team in the nation when it comes to 2025 recruiting. I know those things will change. People will get more commitments. But Mississippi State, back to back, has got some positive news for basketball this week. Obviously, getting a lot of attention because of media days. But what's your immediate thoughts of getting some of these guys?
Yeah, just to touch on the football real quick. I mean, yeah, I think it's awesome. They both passed Tyler Woodard, and so I mean that's awesome. But I mean, yeah, just it's so great. It's so great to finally have some good news, and I'm really excited about it. I mean, Kamario Taylor. I mean, just looking at all the stats, looking at the highlights, he's a fantastic player. Or Tyler Lockhart, not Tyler Woodard. Um, Yeah, he's just a fantastic player. And Kamario Taylor, I'm so excited for him to get to Starkville. And then yeah, Tyshawn Willis is actually our number one ranked player now, and he's up to like a 94 rating, which is unbelievable, you know. And yeah, I mean everybody was like, everybody's always touching on like, yeah, I mean, you know, they always hurt our rankings, but like, yeah, I mean, not in this case. I mean, they bumped those two guys up very, very much. And I know On Three has had Kamario Taylor as a very high, and then 247 brings him up very high as well. So that's awesome. And then the basketball, I mean, I did not think we were going to have the third best class so far. I mean, when I saw that, I mean, I was very shocked, and that's so awesome. I mean, whether you hate him or like him, I mean, Chris Beard is a phenomenal coach. I mean, he's a great coach, and he can recruit. And Chris Jans is out here out recruiting him. I'm very excited about that. I mean, Chris Jans, I mean, he's brought in 3 guys for this 2025 team that are very high recruits, and I'm very excited to see what they can do in Starkville. And I mean, the future for Mississippi State basketball looks extremely bright, and I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, talking about Chris Jans, and we talked about it a little bit earlier on our episode on Monday. Chris Jans, you know, you think about how good of a coach he is. His team 2 years ago, out of all the teams in the nation, had the lowest 3-point percentage, period. Period. Right? And he still got that team to March Madness. Last year's teams had some issues with shooting the ball from 3 as well. Got them all the way to a 9 seed. When he's able to get some of the guys he's going for, I mean, it's hard not to be incredibly encouraged and incredibly just excited overall to think about what Chris Jans can do. So, man, good times. And also just the SEC in general is just loaded, man. Oh my goodness, from top to bottom. And SEC basketball has always been fun to watch. I mean, even I would watch terrible teams on Wednesday of the SEC tournament just because I love SEC basketball. And it's good finally that there's better quality of coaches, and obviously getting better players to play in the SEC. It's just good overall. We move to this week, Austin. There is a lot of good games this week. Man, there's a lot of good games. What I love about college football, and this year specifically, the storylines are deep, right? They're just deep. How will Kalen DeBoer and Alabama do post Nick Saban? Can Georgia take the next step up now that Saban's gone? What can Ole Miss do with the talent they have, the schedule they have? You know, will this finally be Texas's year? Will Nico win the Heisman for Tennessee? All these crazy things. And this is kind of a week where some things start to separate. Like a loss really starts to hurt some of these teams. And so the first game, Austin, it's not College Game Day, unfortunately, but Alabama and Tennessee is going to be a good game. I know you can hold your main prediction for that one for the against the odds picks. But for Alabama and Tennessee, Alabama is shaken. Man, if South Carolina had a better quarterback play last week, I think Alabama loses in Tuscaloosa to a pretty, not a great South Carolina team.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tennessee's a little wobbly as well, man. What's the overall kind of perspective on this game? Tennessee is an underdog by 3. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a massive game for both. I mean, this is so important for both teams. I mean, Josh Heupel, I mean, you know, he's been getting a little bit of hate this season. I feel like just because I mean he really runs up the numbers against bad teams, but when he plays good teams, he doesn't play as well. I mean, they struggled against Oklahoma and they've already lost a game too. I don't know. I mean, Josh Heupel is a good coach. Obviously, he's a great coach, great offensive mind, and what a better way than to beat this Bama team. I mean, I know this rivalry runs very deep, and I mean these two teams absolutely hate each other, and I love watching it. It's so fun. The third Saturday in October, every single year, it's always a good game. And yeah, this is such a big game for Kalen DeBoer too. I mean, they beat Georgia in T-Town. Now you're playing at Neyland Stadium, one of the most hostile environments in all of college football. And you got a very tough game. And those Tennessee fans are going to be loud. I don't know if Kalen DeBoer is ready for it. They're going to be very, very loud. But Kalen DeBoer, let's be honest, I mean, they haven't played good at all these past 2 weeks. South Carolina is not a great team. Lenore Sellers is not a great quarterback. And I mean, it was 27-25, something like that. I mean, they could have won that game. So they're going to have to play an entirely different, just style of football to win this game, because whatever they did the past 2 weeks against Vandy and South Carolina is not going to work. But I'm so excited to watch this game. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, going to be awesome. It's a 2:30 kick. This is kind of the victory cigar game. And living in Tuscaloosa for as long as I have, man, I've seen many folks with cigars. It's always really funny to see, like, even someone I know, like a 120-pound girl that's like 5 feet tall, just puffing on a cigar because Alabama won the game, and it's gonna be interesting. Tennessee, this feels like a place where Tennessee needs this win, and this is kind of like, this might be your shot. Like if DeBoer and company gets a lot better, this might be your moment where you want to take your shots to win. But Nico has just played so inconsistently over the past little bit. It's hard. Tennessee seems like to be a pick that a lot of people are going towards. It's the money line. But man, I'll give you at least my pick for this game is Alabama winning. I just don't see Tennessee just has not been consistent enough for me to get the job done. So I'm taking Alabama in this one. Tennessee's defense has been the part they can lean on, but they had some real problems with Taylor Green, and Jalen Milroe is a better quarterback than Taylor Green. And really that's where it kind of lands for me. The advantage is it's in Neyland Stadium. So they have that. Next up, this will be a game I actually will not be mentioning about because it's in my Against the Odds segment, but Georgia and Texas, college game day, undefeated Texas versus one-loss Georgia. Texas is a 5-point favorite. So not a little more than a field goal. People really seem to like Texas in this game. Austin, what do you make of this? Because this is huge. Georgia's right back in it if they get a win right here. They're all the way back in the driver's seat, despite having that close loss to Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very exciting game. I mean, both of these teams really need to prove it. This is Texas' first game. I mean, not first game, but first year in the SEC. And I mean, what a way for your first season to beat Georgia. I mean, it's at home for Texas. That's why I'm taking Texas. I mean, Georgia has just been playing. They played very bad that first half against Alabama, and I picked Georgia to win the national championship this year. And I'm picking against them. Texas has played unbelievable. Quinn Ewers has played very good this far from when he's played. And this defense looks very good. I mean, Mississippi State, watching A&M, Mississippi State could not score the ball on Texas. They only got one touchdown. And I think it was a rushing touchdown with Johnny Daniels. I mean, this Texas team is different. They look like the best team in college football with, I guess Oregon, because Oregon beat Ohio State. I think I'm gonna take Texas. They've played so good this whole year. Steve Sarkisian is going to have his guys ready. Kirby Smart and Georgia, they're really struggling this year, and I think this is a toss-up game. I think it's a great game. Either team can win, but give me Steve Sarkisian, give me Quinn Ewers, give me Texas.
I like it. This is a really good game. I mean, this is truly two top 5 teams going at it. In this one, the next game, LSU and Arkansas. Now, here's the interesting thing here. Arkansas is an underdog by 1.5. Taylor Green, he was a little banged up. He's expected to play, but he's not at 100%. And let's just be honest. Say it out loud. Can Arkansas beat LSU without Taylor Green? Probably not. And he's not at 100%. I'm going LSU on this one. I understand there is a I really wanted to pick Arkansas in this game because there's such a potential letdown after LSU beats Ole Miss last week to lose this game. But I just, without Taylor Green at his full strength, I think Nussmeier and the rest of LSU can score on Arkansas.
Yeah, I like that too. I think it's in Fayetteville. Arkansas is another team that hasn't. They play kind of inconsistent, I feel like. But with Taylor Green not being 100%, LSU's they're on a very high though after beating Ole Miss. They're on an extreme high, and that might cost them. But I'm gonna give this to LSU too. They're on the top of the world right now after that massive win last Saturday. Yeah, give me LSU. If Taylor Green's not at 100%, I don't really know who their backup is, but he's not Taylor Green, and Taylor Green is the reason they've won a lot of these games and have been in these games because of his ability to scramble. He's one of the most elite running quarterbacks in the whole college football. So give me LSU though. I think they're just more deep, more experienced, and they're on an all-time high right now.
Very quickly, before we get over to Texas A&M and Mississippi State, Auburn is playing Missouri. Missouri is a 5-point favorite. The only reason I want to talk about this game is if Auburn loses this game, they will be on a 4-game losing streak. They will drop to 2-5. And man, people on the plains are not going to be happy because this Missouri team, we all kind of said is maybe fraudulent. Who do you go with in this direction?
I'm gonna pick Missouri. It's at Missouri, and I mean, whether you like them or not, Missouri's got a great defense, and Auburn just man, and they've continued to struggle. I'm gonna read you a few of the games Auburn still has to play. So they have to play at Missouri, and then next they have to play at Kentucky. They could very well lose that, and then they play Vanderbilt at home, but Vanderbilt, I mean, they could very well lose that. Uh, uh, Louisiana Monroe, they're going to win that, and then they have to play A&M, and then they have to play Alabama. So they very well could just win one more game and be 3-9. I mean, because they still have to play Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, and Alabama. I don't know which one of those teams they're gonna beat, but yeah, give me Missouri. I think that I mean, I just think Brady Cook, Luther Burden is. I mean, it's just too much for Auburn, and yeah.
Auburn fans on the Plains will not be Auburn at 3-9 in a second season with Hugh Freeze. I don't know, man. That's rough. That's rough. We go to actually before we get to Mississippi State and Texas A&M. That'll be our final pick before we move into that'll be our final pick before we move into the. Sorry, I got distracted by my phone. Before we move into our Against the Odds segment, we talk about being rich. People talk about wanting to have a lot of wealth. But what does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering the magic in life. Skip Langley is your Batesville, Mississippi Edward Jones advisor, serving clients in the area and across the state of Mississippi. Count on him for financial strategies that can help support a life you love. Because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. Contact him today at 662 563 9843, and together you can find your rich. Edward Jones, member SIPC. We move into Mississippi State and Texas A&M, Austin. This game has changed a little bit since we last discussed whatever was Sunday night or Monday. A&M is now favored by 17 points at home, and Mississippi State has some familiar faces coming back into town. Has Dan Mullen, potentially Dak Prescott, and the 2014 Mississippi State team that was the best in school history. They're coming back, and it's going to be really exciting. Something I wanted to talk about for just a second before we get to the pick here. People were asking, what will people boo Dan Mullen? Will they cheer for Dan Mullen? Kind of getting the consensus on what's going to happen. And I was thinking about it. This is what Dan Mullen's relationship is with Mississippi State. Mississippi State essentially got dumped. They got dumped, and Dan Mullen went for someone else more attractive. Say what you will. Well, then Dan Mullen got dumped. And I think what we came to, and there was a lot of feelings from Mississippi State fans when Dan Mullen left for Florida, and they were really angry, and they hated him, and they wished that he never came, and all these things. Then Dan Mullen gets let go from Florida unjustly after bringing them to such greats, to where they were, and now that they're irrelevant a couple years after. And I realized they probably both realized that they were happiest together. Dan Mullen left Mississippi State. Mississippi State fans hated him because he left for someone else, but then he turned around and he got dumped. And I think if they were both honest, they would say we're probably better when we were together. We're probably at our happiest moment when we were together. So I imagine Bulldog fans are going to be ringing cowbells, going crazy, because that's been the peak. I mean, that's been something they've been chasing after all these years, and they have not come close to reaching it. So that will be interesting. And with that being said, Austin, what are your thoughts? Texas and A&M. Has anything changed? Or Texas A&M and Mississippi State. Has anything changed since last week when we talked?
I mean, I don't really think anything changed. I mean, nothing has really changed but the line. I still got Texas. I'm gonna say 38-24 still. I'm gonna keep my prediction, but I mean, just thinking about it over the week, I'm really nervous about this offense. I mean, we got the deep ball going last week in that second half, but if that deep ball's not going, I don't know how we're gonna score. I really don't. And I'm really nervous about that because Texas A&M has a good defense. I mean, talent composite, they're one of the best teams in the country. And I'm very nervous about that. So I'm gonna say I want to keep my prediction, but I think it has the potential of we losing by 20 plus, but I hope not. But I mean, guys, come out to the game 2014. Well, we're gonna need a lot of those guys to dang suit up. We're gonna need Dak Prescott. We'll give Dan Mullen the headset because we're probably gonna need as much help as we can this Saturday against the Texas A&M Aggies. So Yeah, I'm gonna say 34-24, 38-24. But yeah, y'all come out to the game, be loud. We got to be the X factor and kind of keep the dogs back in it.
I was talking with a friend yesterday about this game, and I said, "Look, man, the crowd's going to be into it. Dak Prescott, Dan Mullen going to be coming out of the tunnel, and then there's going to be a lot of momentum." He said, "Well, are they suiting up for Mississippi State? Like, well, otherwise, why are you excited? You know, because that's the only shot they got to win this game." And while I don't think Mississippi State is going to win it, they will. I feel confident they will cover the 17. I think Mississippi State loses this game 31-20, somewhere in there. But I don't know. I don't see a blowout with the amount of momentum Mississippi State has. And if you've been listening to the show the past couple of weeks, what else can you throw at Michael Van Buren at 18 years old to go on the road on like the two toughest places to play and play the way he has? Mississippi State finally gets to come home. And it's so crazy. I mean, think about it. If you were to say before the season at 1-5, you're going to have fans excited for this game. You know, before the season, you'd say you're nuts. But the way this team is playing just generates a lot of excitement. Recently, not the whole year at all. But yeah, I think Mississippi State ends up covering that 17 and makes it closer than what other folks think. We bring you to our Against the Odds segment. This has been our most successful segment. We have had a couple of successful weeks. Austin, tell us your Against the Odds pick this week. Who's your money line underdog?
Well, I'm picking the home team for 2:30 SEC game. Kalen DeBoer versus Josh Heupel. Give me Tennessee. I think. I mean, again, we're talking about X factor. I think Neyland Stadium is going to be the X factor for this game. I mean, Kalen DeBoer. I mean, he's never played in this kind of environment. I feel like when it comes to the SEC regular season, So just give me Nico. Nico's played very inconsistent, like you said. I don't think he's going to play a great game. I really don't. But I think he's going to do just enough to get them to win. And I think that's all you need. I mean, they have talent at the wide receiver. That defense is loaded with guys. And I think that is enough to help lift Nico just to play just good enough. And but yeah, give me Tennessee. I mean, going into next week, I could be completely wrong about this. I feel that I could definitely. I think this is a toss-up game as well because Jalen Milroe can play an absolute outstanding game. We just don't know. He could play just dominate the entire game. But I don't know. Give me Nico. Give me Tennessee. And I know Josh Heupel's been so excited about this game. This is their year to beat Alabama again, and so give me Tennessee.
Tennessee, they are underline money line pick by Austin. They are plus 26 hosting Alabama. Man, that is going to be an entertaining game either way. But yeah, like we said, this seems like the shot for Tennessee to kind of make their slice at Alabama. But a part of me wants this game. A part of me wants Tennessee to win this game just to see folks go crazy. I kind of just want to see it. Like I don't think it's going to happen, but folks in Tuscaloosa after the past 3 weeks if they lose this game, their people are going to go nuts. And I kind of want to see it, but we'll see. My Against the Odds money line underdog pick is Georgia at plus 170 on the road in Austin. I get it. Texas has not been beaten. They played really well against a Michigan defense that's pretty good, but Michigan's not a great team by any means. They lost on the road, last second to an Alabama team in a crazy environment. Georgia has an opportunity right here with all the distractions and all the police sirens, if you will, to find a way to put all that to bed. So in this one, I'm going with Georgia to pull the upset, to beat Texas on the road. You never know about Quinn Ewers in terms of his health. I know Arch Manning is there, but I feel like Georgia's going to put it all together this week. I really do. And that would be good. So that Georgia plus 170, Austin, that's Tennessee plus 126 in this game. And that about wraps it up, Austin. Man, for week number 8 of our matchups and pick show. Hey, you see right there on the ticker, right down there below, follow us on Twitter at MyDawgsPod. We've added some extra followers there this week. Make sure you subscribe to MPW Digital on YouTube. That will be very important to make sure you kind of keep up with what our latest content is, when it's going to be released and whatnot. And man, it is a pleasure as always. We'll see how these picks do. I've been really proud of our past 2 weeks, but everything could all go to shambles at this point. So, Austin, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing about 3 or 4 shows a week, so make sure y'all stay tuned. We try to get try to get a reaction video right after the game, and then Monday come out with a video, and then Wednesday or Thursday come out with a video on each day or just one. But yeah, guys, make sure y'all stay tuned. And I mean, anywhere that y'all find your podcast is where you can find us on the MPW Digital. So yeah, thank y'all guys so much for the continued views and continued to listening for us. We really do appreciate it.
Of course, thank you guys so much for listening to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital.